And there they are, the apple spice donuts found at Daisy's, I think it's Daisy's Cafe in Toontown at Disneyland during the 2025 Halloween season. Let's dig in. Hello and welcome back to Spread Some Magic 1928. Today I have a very fall recipe. It was introduced during the 2025 Halloween season at the Disneyland Resort and can be found at Cafe Daisy. And it is the apple cider mini donuts. I'm super excited. I love apple-based desserts, and who doesn't love donuts? Now we're not gonna fry them, we are gonna bake them, but I did find a recipe from the website Sally's Baking Addiction. Generally, I know if it's on her site, she's one of the few bloggers I can trust 100%. Anyhow, you are gonna start with some spice cider. I love the Trader Joe's spice cider if I'm not, I don't live near apple orchards, which right is Upper East Coast or Apple Hill in California, but for mass produced, this is pretty tasty. And you're gonna boil it or simmer it for like a half hour. So it's gonna go, you want 1.5 cups and take it down to a half a cup. And that's gonna go into our batter. I am making mini donuts. Her recipe calls for large ones. And because I only have one mini donut pan, I'm gonna do the rest of the batter as donut holes, because who doesn't love donut holes? The recipe does call for apple pie spice. I did get this one on Amazon. None of my stores had it, even though they do have pumpkin pie spice. You can make your own. Cinnamon is its base. Some have clove, some have ginger. This one had like all of it. Cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. So no clove. And then this is also the topping, according to her recipe, but I also found apple cider finishing sugar. So we're gonna toss our donuts in this. Probably gonna take up the whole thing. So maybe I'll mix these, but we're gonna go with this mostly, just because it's apple cider. So what do you say? I'm gonna get this stuff out of the way, and let's get baking. Oh, we also wanna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. To a large bowl, we're gonna add 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon apple pie spice, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Remember, do not use Morton's kosher salt, either Diamond's kosher salt or Morton's table salt. And then we're gonna whisk this together and then move to the liquid ingredients. In a medium bowl, we are gonna whisk 2 tablespoons melted unsalted butter, 1 room temperature egg. Mix those together while I pour in 1/2 cup room temperature milk, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and we are gonna add 2 dry ingredients, 1/2 cup regular sugar, and 1/2 cup brown sugar packed. You can use dark brown sugar. I was gonna do a mix, but I forgot to double check my brown sugar and it needed a fresh piece of bread to get soft. So regular sugar it is. Once you have all those ingredients whisked together, we're gonna pour them into the dry bowl, the dry ingredient bowl, and then whisk this together. When you bake, you do not want to overmix the flour, and we still have to add in our condensed apple cider. So I'm gonna about mix it halfway and then add in the cider so we don't overmix our flour. That's how our baked goods can be tough, is when you overmix and overactivate the gluten in the flour. About 1/2 cup of condensed apple cider, and I did measure that, so it was about 1/2 cup. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. So if I was only doing the donut holes, I would totally use a spoon. And you can use a spoon on this. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in a plastic bag, snip the corner so I can more neatly fill the small donut pan. So I will be back. All right, I have my trays filled. That batter made more than enough for this. So if you have a full-size donut tray, it's definitely gonna do at least 12 donuts. And I think it did say 12 to 14. I am so excited. I love apple desserts. Also, if you don't have donut pans, because this isn't something everybody has, I just do because I've loved baking. The recipe, which I will link in my YouTube, she has ways to do these into muffins. But, so into the oven we go. I'm gonna guess about 12 minutes for these, but I will check and see. Basically, you know it's done when you push on it and the dough springs back. You can also insert it with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs, that works too. So I'll be back. In the meantime, I'm gonna make, I am gonna blend this with some regular sugar, kind of to her recipe, because I think this is only half of what I need. And then, yeah, and melt some butter. The rest of that stick, we use 2 tablespoons, so we wanna melt the other 6 tablespoons, because once these come out of the oven, we dip them in butter, toss them in sugar, and then we get to try them. I'll be back. Okay, while your donuts are baking, you wanna get everything ready for the next part. I have melted the butter, and I have combined the sugar. I get it, not everybody has apple cider finishing sugar. So what you're gonna wanna do is 1 cup of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 3/4 teaspoon of that apple pie spice. And then I also have my cooling rack here on top of wax paper. Now these donuts are best served warm. Today's a cold, rainy fall day, so I'm super excited to eat them, like pretty much fresh out of the oven, but I'm not gonna eat them as soon as I dip them, so they need to go somewhere. I like putting it on wax paper for easy cleanup. You could put it on whatever you want. I just find that's easiest when I glaze things, is over wax paper. And for the mini donuts, it is 8 to 9 minutes. I'm gonna check after 7. For muffins, it's gonna be 18 to 20 minutes. And then for regular sized donuts, I believe it said like 12 to 14 minutes. Also, you're only supposed to fill your donut pan 3/4 away. Both of mine are just about full, so it could take a little bit longer or they may spill over, but I have a feeling they're still gonna be delicious. So we'll be right back. Look at them. Again, kind of wish there was smell-o-vision. So while they are hot, carefully, you're gonna try to remove them from the pan. So I overfilled mine so they look more like muffins than donuts. You're gonna toss them in the butter, toss them in the sugar, and then set them aside while you finish the rest. So I will be back because I cannot wait to try these. I'm so excited. And there they are, the apple spice donuts found at Daisy's, I think it's Daisy's Cafe in Toontown at Disneyland during the 2025 Halloween season. Let's dig in. I'm so excited. The apple donuts, honestly, just make the basic covering. The finishing sugar has a little tang to it. These are fantastic. Would I get these in the park? Absolutely. I've had the regular donuts from Daisy's and they are amazing. And we had them on a cold, rainy day, similar to today. So make yourself a batch of these, whether you do it as muffins or donuts, it does not matter. Breakfast or dessert, any time of the day. This is an ultimate fall treat. So highly recommend trying them. Anyhow, thanks for joining me today. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and spread some magic wherever you are. Until next time.